Hello painters, it's Debbie from acrylicpouring.com, back for a little bit more pouring fun today. So as I paint, it's extremely hot here. Hurricane Irma is on the way, and as yet it's a few days out. We don't know whether it'll hit the Cayman Islands. Last time the Cayman Islands were hit by a Category 4 hurricane, we didn't have electricity on the island for 82 days. So I am on a bit of a painting marathon today, thinking, well, if the electricity goes out and doesn't come back for a while, I'm going to want to get my videos all recorded and ready and uploading for you if I can. So at the time, it's hot and there's a hurricane coming, but I figured better to be safe than sorry. Make sure you get your videos to watch. So today I'm going to do another swirl, a circle pour, a tree ring pour, and I've got my record ready, but people have asked a few times how I prepare my records, and I've talked about it before, but I thought I may as well go through it quickly again with you today. So on the center of the record just here, I have an Avery label. Now the reason I say Avery especially is because I like to use the round glossy labels. I know you can get like sticky labels everywhere, including the dollar store and things like that, but I'm thinking if I'm going to have a label on here and then put paint on top and make it wet, I want to make sure it's a really good quality one so that this label is going to stay stuck when it gets wet. So that's why I recommend using an Avery label, and I'll have a link where you can buy them or at least see the ones that I use. I also clean the front and the back of the record with alcohol before I start, just to get rid of any grease. Then on the back I've got some painter's tape. So this is just the kind of economy painter's tape that you get at the DIY store, and I cut it into strips about 6 or 8 inches long, and I put it carefully around the edge of the record. As you can see just here, it makes a smooth edge, but then it puckers in the middle where I kind of stretch it to cover the curves, and that's just fine as long as it's got a nice smooth curve around the outside. That's good. And then I take a simple piece of paper with a bit of sticky on it and put that over the top too, just to make sure that that label is covered up. There we are. Make sure I'm not going to get the sticky over the edges. So once the paper is stuck on there, that's it, done. All clean on the back and ready to pour. So let's bring my cups over, just put that there. So in terms of my paint colours, these are some that I've got left over in my little pots from a previous project. I've got a very light kind of turquoisey blue. Actually it looks very similar to the colour of my top today. Not much of that one. Then I've got this one which is like a mid blue. This is a cobalt blue. Oh, and then ultramarine blue, which has got a little bit of spot of something else in it. That's good. And I've mixed up some white. So, oh, a little gloopy bit. My paints are drying so quick in this hot weather. Okay, so I'm going to lay down a little bit of the white in my cup to start. That's probably enough, just enough to cover the bottom of the jug, and then I'll go with the lighter colour, and I'm going to do the same as I did before. When I layered them in the cup, I kind of, rather than putting them on top of each other, I put the colours next to each other. So I'm going to do that the same today. That's the light blue, and then I'm going to go for the mid blue. I don't have a whole bunch of these two colours because they're leftovers, but I think it will be enough. I did have to stretch the paint out a long way the last time I did this with the browns, but it worked because by stretching it out I made the rings further apart and it had more of a pronounced ring effect to it. So have I got enough paint? I think maybe I'll put a bit more white because I haven't got a lot of those blues. There we go, just a little bit, and then some of this darker blue on the top. I'm going to try and layer it a little bit so it stays on the top rather than goes too deep down in, and then we will see how that goes. So one mistake that I did last time, I didn't put any kind of floating layer, should we call it a floating layer, a layer of paint on the, pull that into view a little bit more, a layer of paint on the surface before I did the ring pour. So I'm going to do that, and I've got my white that I had left over from pouring in here, but I'm going to thin it down a little bit. So I'm just going to add a bit more water into it so that it's just a bit thinner, a bit more fluid, and hopefully in doing so it will allow the paint to spread out a little bit easier, because last time I had to really stretch it. I'm going to put that maybe in the center just there, and then as I put my other paints on the top, that'll kind of spread that out naturally anyway, I'm thinking. So shall I give this a little stir? It's a little stir. And now I'm going to try and be steady, because last time I kind of shook a little bit and I didn't get it as smooth as I would like, especially in the center. It was okay with the brown one because it looked a little bit like tree rings, so it looked like knots in the wood. With the blue, of course, it's not going to look like wood, so I don't think I will be able to get away with calling it knots in the wood. Whoa. Well, that was annoying. The wind just blew through the window and blew the paint off the centre. Oh, it's doing it again. Stop, wind. See, I was only saying how hot it was and how the wind had stopped, and then suddenly it starts just at the time I really don't want it to. So it's a little bit weird. Okay, my white is coming out. That's good. I want to try and really concentrate on getting a good spiral today. Here I go. Still going, still going. So it looks very much like the last one I did. That last one looked really, really dark brown. This one so far looks really, really dark blue. But I think when I stretch it out, if it's anything like the last one, hopefully it's going to work. So I'm getting towards the end of my paint. I'm carrying on with my spiral. And I'm determined today to try and get a nicer centre to it. So I'm keeping going, keeping going, keeping going. Keeping an eye on when my paint is going to run out. Feeling the wind. Oh! I was so close, and then the paint stopped and then it blobbed out. I was so close to getting it right then. I've also got cells coming up again through today. I had that in the brown one that I did. Even though nothing here has any silicone in it today, it still made cells last time as well. And again, in the brown, it didn't look so bad because it looked like tree rings, so I was kind of happy with it. But I really didn't want that in the blue. I just wanted to get it kind of, just the rings, you know, without the cells. So, let's see if I got it in view for you up at the top. I think so. So I'm going to just do it round and round in a circle, gradually spreading things out. Oh, I'm getting a little bit off from a circle now. So rather than keep going round, I will start spread it out. Oh, get those cups out of the way. Oh, okay, let's bring it back in view. So I'm going to take it right up to and just over the edge of the record as I turn it. So the centre is selling up a lot, which is unfortunate. It's not what I wanted. I wanted to get the rings rather than the cells. But you know what it's like. Sometimes you really struggle to get cells, and then other times, like now, I really don't want cells, and they're turning up anyway. This paint is a mystery. This technique and style of painting, there's magic to it. I swear there are something like unicorns involved. Okay, I'm still going round, slowly, slowly, just taking it gently off the edge, stretching out. I've got a bit more paint this time. So remember the last one that I did? I had the record basically vertical, where I was trying to spread the paint out so much. This time I've got it covered now, and there's plenty to spare. Now, that's not exactly worked out, has it? So much for tree rings today. They were rings, and then it's just this light blue has gone mental for making cells. So that is something to remember for sure. That one was an apple barrel one, actually, and I've heard a lot of people that apple barrel really just makes really good cells. So in the Getting Started guide and the course that I do, I recommend using the craft paints and things like apple barrel, because they really just make cells really easy. This is a great example of that. So of course I've stretched them out a lot, obviously, by what I've been doing to stretch the paints out. And I can't get that tree ring effect anymore because that's not happening. But I might as well kind of go with it and see what I get. How do I like that? That looks kind of cool. It's almost like, I'll tell you what it looks like. To me, it looks like Antarctica or the Arctic, one or the other, where you have all the ice flows and the flows kind of calve off into these huge icebergs and things. So it actually looks really pretty good. Not like the tree rings. The cells just overtook that today, but I think I like it as it is. I might just try and take this a bit more off center over here, I think, where it's just a little bit stretched on that side. I think it would look nicer if I took it a bit more off center. Oh, I think if I do it, I'm going to stretch out the rest. So let's bring in my cups and pop that on there. Oh, bit of paint everywhere, and we will call that done. So now I was thinking, do I need to torch it? I've got a little speck there, which I'm just going to get out with my pointy tool in a minute, and a little bit of thin paint there. But I think from the look of it, it's going to continue to develop, and lots more cells and things are going to pop through anyway. So I think this one was a loss in terms of making it into a tree ring effect. But I'm definitely going to try this again, but not use that light blue, because that light blue is crazy for making cells. But it looks kind of cool. I think it's going to make a great clock. So thanks for watching. I'm going to dry it up, varnish it, and let you see what it looks like when it's finished. So here it is finished, varnished, and ready to be listed soon in my Etsy store and go off to a new home. And I have to say, although it's not exactly how I planned it, it hasn't come out with the tree ring effect because of all the crazy cells that just kept popping through. It looks really cool, and I'm very, very happy with it indeed. The details on it are really lovely. The gloss finish looks good. It's a cool finish. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you over on acrylicpouring.com very soon.